The impact business model, right? So I am moving forward with the assumption that we know what a business model is. Let's say, let's keep it this way. You are a business, okay? So this is you, और आपका एक customer है. आप अपने customer को कोई product या कोई service provide करते हैं, that is your responsibility to take some resources to create that service, to create that product and deliver it to your customer. आप अपने customer के लिए value create कर रहे हैं. So you give him per hour something कि हम आपको कचरा उठाने की service देंगे. We will charge you by the hour. We will charge you per kg. हम आपको कोई biofertilizer देंगे. We will charge you per liter. ठीक है, तो आप अपने customer को कुछ value दे रहे हैं और in exchange for that value, the customer is giving you some money. And that value is when you give a customer 1 liter of biofertilizer, you are not selling him the fertilizer, you are actually selling him that nutrient that he needs to make his plants grow, to earn a livelihood, to generate some income for himself, to create nutritious food. This is all the values that you are giving, all the value that you are giving to your customer, right? So, आप जो value दे रहे हैं, उसके exchange में customer आपको क्या value दे रहा है? What is the amount of money he's paying? What is the kind of brand recognition he's giving you? Is he marketing your company, your product by word of mouth? All of these are values generated by the customer for you. Here I'm specifically speaking about आपके business को क्या value हो रहा है. So is this clear? This is a very simple framework for a business model. Essentially, किन दो entities के बीच में exchange है और exchange क्या हो रहा है. Okay, so इसी model को रखते हुए we have something that is called a business model canvas that was designed many years ago, I think around 1990 or somewhere late in 1990s. And the business model canvas at the time that it was designed didn't really factor in, or it still doesn't really factor in impact or social impact, because us waqt business ka tarz kuch aur tha. It was very much focused on business revenue kaise generate kar sakta hai. But over the years, in the last 10 years, 12 years, the world has shifted. It's just become a very different kind of a place. And now there is an essential need to quantify कि आपका business एक बार तो from a commercial focus आप काम कर रहे हैं. So how are you earning money? But also from an impact focus. What are you doing to support beneficiaries or help people or communities in which you're working? So this impact canvas is actually a modified version of the business model canvas. और इसमें 2 या 3 basically segments add हुए हैं that you need to sort of think about as an impact focused company. And then other than that, when we're going through the business model canvas segments, we will also talk about pure commercial focus and also impact focus. But again, I'm moving forward with the assumption that basic business model canvas आप लोगों ने कहीं ना कहीं किसी session में देखा हुआ होगा, कहीं किया हुआ होगा, because if I go into details of the business model canvas, वो अलग एक पूरा 1-1.5 घंटा है. So I'm just going to speed this through, but what I will leave open to you is that at any point in time, you can contact me and we can, if you need help to go over the business model canvas, I'm more than happy to spend time on it and review your canvas, think things through. But right now, we're going to sort of keep it really, really quick in the interest of time. So let's start with the first part of this modified business model canvas, the impact canvas. And if you look at your canvas, अगर आपने download कर लिया है या ये वाला आपके सामने आपके पास है visual, so सबसे पहले we start off with the problem statement. And the fact is कि आप जितना ज़्यादा देर problem को solve करने पर और thinking about what the problem is you spend on that, the more likely you are to come up with valid solutions. So keeping that in mind, all of you are working in the climate space, environment space. I see there are eco bricks, there are waste management companies over here, there are plastic recycling companies over here. So बहुत सारे solutions आप लोगों ने of course निकाले हुए हैं अपने area के अपनी problem के हिसाब से कि what you are thinking of resolving. However, when you are thinking of your problem, please think about how large is it. Just like we think about how large our customer base could be and what is the kind of market that we can have for our product or service, उसी तरह से problem कितना बड़ा है ये सोचना भी ज़रूरी है. The reason being that if the problem is too small, or if the problem may be a problem in your community, but it is not impacting the rest of the world, it doesn't make you relevant. And to have, even if you're looking at an impact business, we're trying to raise funds as an impact business, we need to have a problem that is relevant or can be made relevant to the rest of the world. For example, polio or malaria, there have been huge, massive worldwide campaigns for this. Climate change now, if you are following the trends, abhi floods ke baad, we've, or at least in some ways, loss and damage funding ko recognize karwane ke liye in the world, it has only been possible because the world realized that something was wrong, right? But if this problem was not on such a large scale, people would still be thinking in their shells and thinking about not doing anything about it. So what is the scale of this problem? And the scale of the problem, especially with climate change, is huge because you have tsunamis, you have earthquakes, you have floods, you have heat waves, you have the fact that all of these, while they're affecting certain geographies in shaping the way or the stability of the earth, they are also affecting food supply chains, energy supply chains, other business value chains across the world. And that is what has caused the world to really wake up. Because अगर किसी मुल्क की सप्लाई या फूड सप्लाई या कपड़ों की सप्लाई जो है वो एशिया, पाकिस्तान, बांग्लादेश, जापान, इस तरह की कंट्री से आ रही हैं, and anything that happens as a natural disaster or calamity in these countries affects the cost of doing business. As it is, the cost of living is so high in most European countries, which is one reason why people have woken up to think about the fact that the climate impact or the climate challenge is a huge problem in some countries, and we need to support them in doing things. But having said that, this funding is not going to solve all the problems. And startups and new ventures like yourself, who are working on different products or working on different businesses, you guys will really be responsible for making this change happen. So how would you do that? Think about the problem. Think about everything that is going around in the world. आपकी अपनी business है या जो भी आपका startup है, उसमें दो चीजें that you need to know how to manage. Have you heard of macro environmental factors? या macro environmental factors जो पढ़ाए जाते हैं कभी, what is pestle used for? आप basic business जब पढ़ रहे होते हैं, so we say that this is a firm which is your company, and you have certain boundaries and certain things that you can control. जो चीजें आपके कंट्रोल में हैं वो आपके फर्म के इंटरनल होती हैं, आपकी बिजनेस के इंटरनल होती हैं. दिस इज मोस्टली योर रिसोर्सेज, इंटेलेक्चुअल रिसोर्सेज, इट इज मोस्टली योर एसेट्स, फिजिकल एसेट्स, जिनके ऊपर आपका कंट्रोल होता है. एंड ये जो पेस्टले है, दीज आर ऑल द थिंग्स आउटसाइड ऑफ योर कंट्रोल. दिस इज पॉलिटिकल सिचुएशन, इकोनॉमिक सिचुएशन, डॉलर रेट फ्लक्चुएट कर रहा है, सोशल सिचुएशन, टेक्नोलॉजी चेंज हो जाती है अचानक से, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस इज लाइक द न्यू थिंग, or people have, or countries have moved from physical to digital altogether, legal regulatory frameworks कोई change हो जाते हैं, एक environmental situation कोई change हो जाती है, कोई flood आ जाता है. These are all the factors जो आपके control में नहीं होते as a business, as an organization, as an individual. So when these things happen, how ready are you as a company or a startup to respond to these changes? There are a lot of clean tech startups in the last year जिनके साथ बहुत बड़ा challenge ये आया है कि they have not been able to withstand the fact that the dollar rate has changed, the cost of business has gone up. Import has been banned because we are not a technology company as such. It's become very difficult to produce local technologies. So जो companies या जो startups hardware पे काम कर रहे थे, for example e-bikes or batteries or things like that, they've really had a challenging time. And up funds be, so for the next year the forecast is that anybody who is fundraising, if you start fundraising right now, please think that you will start realizing this somewhere in 2024 2025. So for the next year right now, there are no funds to go around anywhere. Again, these are situations that you can't control, but with the resources that you have, with the knowledge that you have, with the people in your team, with the assets that you have as an organization, as a business, as a new venture, आप किस तरह से सिचुएशन को रिस्पॉन्ड कर सकते हैं. दैट इज व्हाट इज रियली गोइंग टू मेक और ब्रेक योर बिजनेस, राइट? सो फॉर क्वांटिफाइंग योर इम्पैक्ट आल्सो, यू नीड टू बी वेरी क्लियर कि आप किन situations के अंदर, किन boundaries के अंदर आप लोग काम कर रहे हैं और आपकी boundary से बाहर क्या चीजें हैं जिनको आपको देखना है. So this is basically about the problem identification. I am sure that you have all figured out or identified the problem you are working on. My advice to you on this is only that अगर आपने प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट अपनी इस तरह से सोची हुई है कि पाकिस्तान में बहुत ज़्यादा कचरा है या प्लास्टिक पोल्यूशन का प्रॉब्लम है, प्लीज़ गो अ बिट डीपर. थिंक अबाउट वेरी स्पेसिफिकली how much tons of plastic waste, what is the impact of that plastic waste, and when you work as an organization, as a startup, as a new venture with your team, आपका impact कितना हो सकता है उसके ऊपर. इब्राहिम ने अच्छी बात कही थी कि there is too much of a problem going around and we all need to work together. So you would, even if there are 5 waste management solutions in this cohort right now, you know, जिनका काम basically ये है कि वो waste collect करके उसको sort करके recyclables को sell करके अपना revenue generate कर रहे हैं. I think that is even very small. Given the size and scale of our problem, we are all insufficient to really solve it. However, having said that, आपने अपनी problem के बारे में कितना deeply सोचा हुआ है. You need to have the facts, the figures, the numbers, whether it's coming from World Bank data, whether it's coming from Pakistan statistics, whether it's coming from anywhere else. Bottom line is आपके पास कोई referenceable कोई link ऐसी होनी चाहिए जहां पर आप connect करके कह सकते हैं कि this is the database where I am collecting my reference or my basic numbers from. के चाहे पानी की किल्लत के बारे में आप बात कर रहे हैं, चाहे आप अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ पोर्टेबल वाटर की बात कर रहे हैं, चाहे आप बिजली ना होने की बात कर रहे हैं, you have to give some reference and statistics to it. You can't bring these numbers out just because I feel that मेरी गली के कोने के ऊपर कचरा कुंडी में बहुत कचरा है, that there is a problem in the rest of the world. So please make sure whenever you are identifying or documenting the problem, think about the numbers. Who is affected, how many people, what is the scale of it. जितना बड़ा आप उस प्रॉब्लम को साउंड करवा सकते हैं उतना ज्यादा इम्पैक्ट क्रिएट करने का चांस है, राइट? सो आर वी क्लियर अबाउट द प्रॉब्लम आइडेंटिफिकेशन? And this is something that you would have to work with your team as well. So it's a good idea to bring all your team on board, get their input, get their resources, and then, you know, come up with a small description कि हमारी actual problem statement क्या है जिसको हम solve करने जा रहे हैं. And this is also literally one part of every pitch deck that asks you describe your problem. But this is also the part of the pitch deck, or when you're pitching, that shouldn't be covered in more than